Step into the spotlight of Sans Showbiz, guiding you through the stories behind the stars with Nigel Clarkson. Our guest today, Rozalla.
And our very first podcaster, Rozalla. Hello.
How are you? Hi, Nigel. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good. Right. Now, you've been super busy. I've been catching up on all the details because it's a couple of years since I last spoke to you. And you've been doing quite a few new songs at the moment, I've noticed.
Yes, I've got a new album out yesterday. I'm so really excited about that. And the title of that album is called Turn on the Light.
Turn on the Light. How on earth did that come about? Was that in the middle of the night that you had a brainwave? Or it's something that I'd say to my wife, turn on the light. I can't see where I'm going.
You see, you just said something so important. The reason I chose that title is obviously one of the songs is called Turn on the Light.
Yeah.
And turn on the light, you know, you can take it to however you want it to mean, but I thought it's positive. You know, you just said something, you wanted to see where you were going. I think it's just like a metaphor for your life in whatever it is you might be going through. And, you know, no matter what darkness you're in, just turn on the light. And there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Just give it a try.
Excellent. Yeah. I was listening to it last night. I was doing a bit of washing up in the kitchen. And
as you do, Nigel, as you do.
And I was having a bit of a boogie around in the kitchen because I thought, I tell you what, though, every song is really, really cleverly written, especially the boogie ones, aren't they, where they want to dance. Is that what you're aiming for? Is it for a bit of a dance song?
Oh, that's so lovely you say that when you say every song. That was the aim. You know, Gary Simmons, who runs the label I'm on, called Energize Records, and it's just a small label. Yeah. Him and his partner have been running. It turned 30 years old, I think, late last year. And, you know, they still have their daytime jobs, but they run this label, and I'm so proud of them, and I'm so proud to be on it. And Gary's always wanted to do an album with me, or songs or singles. Yeah. And he's like, let's do an album that's got dance tracks that are still there for your fans, because I'm mostly known as a dance act. We don't want to forget all that. So we've got some really hands up in the air tracks. We also wanted to do some ballads.
I noticed that, yeah. There's a few good ones in there, isn't there? I mean, it's very soulful, isn't it? Is that what it's meant to be?
It wasn't. We didn't intend to do a soulful album, but, you know, some of the covers that we've done, released maybe in the 70s or the 80s, there's a couple of tracks on there, Inside Out and Let's Go Together, you know, by Change and Odyssey. And those, to me, are the most soulful tracks on the album. That wasn't the intention, but I'm so happy that it's turned out that way, that this album's got so many different facets and styles of music to it.
Yeah, I noticed that. Good mix there going on, isn't there? You've got your soulful ballads, and then you've got your dance epics. I mean, you can't get away from Everybody's Free, can you? Yes, Everybody thinks about that, don't
they? Exactly. But, you know, the fact is, Nigel, Everybody's Free to Feel Good is going to be 33 years old this year.
Wow, it's amazing.
Know, it's just amazing. Where's the time gone? But the truth of the matter is, as much as I want to, I could never recreate another Everybody's Free. It would be nice, but it's not that way. The world is fluid. It just keeps moving and changing. And I'm also older, you know, and my voice has changed. I say, you know, I've got new colors to my voice.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think it's exactly the same to me. I was listening to that.
Really?
I was going to ask you, how do you look after your voice so well? Because it just sounds the same.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much for saying that. I think, you know, my voice is sounding older, more mature. The way I look at it, Nigel, is I think I've got different colors to my voice. Yeah. And I'm hitting different notes that I couldn't hit maybe 30 years ago. And it's the same for everyone that's getting older. Even if you've got a talking voice, you know, your voice changes. Yeah. And I think it's gotten a deeper timbre to it. So, yeah.
But what has impressed you? I've been watching the videos on YouTube because they all seem to come out the other day. All at once, they all seem to be like, whoosh, about 6 videos came out. And I was watching those. And then you've got all the people dancing in the background, haven't you? That looked a good gig, didn't it?
that was, I think the one you're talking about is Turn on the Light.
Yeah.
You know, and all the last 4 or 5 videos I've done recently have been shot by a wonderful friend of mine. I love him, Asher Stanley. I call him Ash. Yeah. And he helped me upload them all onto my YouTube channel. So please, people who are listening, subscribe to Rozalla Official. I'm waiting for you there, and you can see all my old and new stuff.
Yeah, because what we're going to do on our website, Sans Showbiz, we put all links to your videos, everything really, everything you want.
Brilliant.
So everybody, all your fans can get in touch with you, you know, or well, not ringing you up. I don't mean that, but we don't want that. Telephone will be going all night.
Thank you.
Well, they can find out all your new videos and all new songs as well. Because there's there's a little montage going on there. It says play all. I noticed a little button, so that's what I did. And went straight away through them. Fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Nigel. That's great.
Really good. So who's got, when you're on these videos, I was watching this, I wanted to ask you this, right? So there's all different outfits that you're wearing. Is that your own decision to wear those outfits? Or do you have somebody who plans it for you?
Well, because Ash, like I say, he's done the last 5 videos. And I have a lovely lady that comes to work with us called Yolanda.
Yeah.
And, or Yolandi. And she does the hair and the makeup. And Ash says, like, bring some of the stuff that you're wearing on stage because we want to keep it in that sort of similar vein.
Yeah.
So I just like literally go with a massive, huge suitcase and I pack some of my stage outfits. Honestly, it's like I'm traveling to go abroad for like a very long holiday, but I'm just going like 2 hours to Derby.
So Derby, I was going to ask you, that's where it's all filmed at, is it? Derby?
That's where it's filmed in Ash's studio, and sometimes we go out. So I take, some of my stage gear as well as outfits that I think would work, just normal everyday outfits, jeans, T-shirts. And so we'll choose the outfits for the different storylines that Ash has put together. And that's how we do it.
So how do you get the people in the background of the video? Are they all invited along? Are they fans, or where do they come from?
Yeah, the Turn on the Light one, Ash invited a few people. And in fact, in the video, Yolanda was there, who's a hair and makeup artist. We had people, helping behind the scenes. They came all and had a dance, and so they weren't even hired. They were already there, and they became a part of this particular scene where we were dancing and pretended to be in a nightclub. So
it's brilliant.
Just to say, be grateful to them all to do that was an understatement.
And a nice touch at the end of the video. They left that little bit in where everybody was cheering. Hey!
It was so, honestly, that was quite unexpected. I didn't know Ash kept on filming that,
Yeah.
And when he showed me, he's like, I'm leaving this in the video. I'm like, yeah, it looks great. Leave it.
Good move. Good move, that. So what's your plans like for the future then? Because you like to keep busy. I know that. You never like to be sat down doing nothing, do you?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? When I have my moments of quietness and not doing anything, for the first few days, I love it. Nigel, I stay at home. I'm being a good housewife, a good wife to my husband, cooking dinners, watching Netflix. And then I see an aircraft go across, the pathway, and I'm and I'm going to my hubby. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit, aircraft sick. I need to.
I need to go somewhere.
I need to go somewhere. And then the next thing, I'm looking at my emails and I'm being offered this gig here. And then my husband's like, oh, go on, take it. I know you missed it.
I get the same thing. So we need to go on a break, I think we're going to Lanzarote. I think it's all booked up in 6 weeks for a week in Lanzarote. I thought, oh, great.
Oh,
I can't do any work, you see, really. I still take my laptop and everything, but you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Can't leave it alone.
On the side, they just, do a bit of work. But yeah, fortunately, I still absolutely love what I do. I love performing. I've been very fortunate in that I'm still being offered and asked to go out there and do gigs. And that to me speaks volumes that, I'm still wanted. And that just makes me feel amazing. And most importantly as well, Nigel, is I still love doing it.
Yeah.
I said to my agent, if I had to make a few millions, I think I'd sort of slow down. And he has asthma, and he took his asthma thing and he started blowing it down his throat, going, oh, no, you're not going to retire anytime soon.
Sounds like me, though, with me asthma.
Yeah,
quick.
quick. You're going to work until you're bloody 80.
Sit down. I'll have to have a sit down when people start announcing things like that.
Exactly.
There's an advert on the TV at the moment. Am I right in saying that it's playing your song as a little backing track? Is that right?
Yes, it's the Cravendale milk ad.
Yeah, did they get in touch with you?
How that came about is they got in touch with my publishers, Peer Music. Gosh, when I say publishers, it sounds very posh.
It sounds great. You've made it.
Great.
You've made it. I've got a publisher.
I've got a publisher, but they've been with me from day dot for the Everybody's Free album. So obviously the publishers of that album, and they got in touch with them. And then, of course, Tim, Nigel, and myself own the rights to Everybody's Free.
Yeah.
So whenever they get the publishers get offers to have the song in a movie or an advert, and people send in requests. They ask me, Tim and Nigel, so we either say yay or nay. And so they sent down a script for this ad and an idea for it.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing. I just thought, this is great.
Brilliant.
I just saw this, a wonderful side to it. And Tim and Nigel weren't sure. They're like, oh no, it's funny and it's making fun of the song. And I'm like, that's the whole point. Out of things like that, Nigel, is what happens. People might not know the song, for instance, and then at the end of it, they hear my original vocalist sung. Yeah. And they say, oh, I know that song. That's Rozalla. And then you get the DJ playing it. Did you hear the Cravendale ad, singing Everybody's Free? Funny. Let's hear the original. I believe that has kept the profile of Everybody's Free out there. And Tim and Nigel came on and said, you know what, you're right. Let's do it. Let's do it. And they came on board, and look at the play that is getting on TV. It's fantastic.
I take it as a credit, that really. I think that was fantastic. If somebody asked you to use your song in an advert, I mean, it's a real bonus, isn't it? It's a real credit, and it's a recognition that your song is such a classic song.
Absolutely. And that's what Tim and Nigel saw. And they were like, you're right, Rozalla. We can see what you mean. And they came on board with it, and I was really pleased about that. And, I think the other day I put on Sky News, and then as I turned the TV on, here comes a Cravendale ad, and then I'm just killed with laughter, I loved it.
Oh, I hope you get some free delivered to your house anyway, the milk. Do they drop any off?
I think I should do. Yeah.
So that is absolutely brilliant, that. And so I wondered how it came about, and obviously you'll have to get some sort of deal with them, won't you, when that happens? You'll leave that to your manager, of course, won't you? But
that's where the publishers come in, and they take care of it.
And then they ring up and say, book another holiday. It's a goer.
Exactly.
Another holiday. Get the bags packed.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've listened to all your songs, right? And then you've never done a collaboration with anybody, have you?
I did a duet with a wonderful singer called Alan J.
Yeah.
And the song is called Breaking My Heart. I'm sure it's on the album, on my new album.
Right.
And so he's a person and the last that I've ever done a collaboration with. So I hope in the near future there'll be other, Yeah, I
was going to say, would you do another one? And if so, who would you love to do a collaboration with, or a duet with?
Yeah, that's a question. My goodness. Geez, from the top of my head, I just can't go on blank. I can't think. No. Oh, my goodness. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, come back to that. So we've done the outfits, we've done the collaborations, and all the styling and the fashion and everything like that. That's great. I could do with somebody that helps me with my fashion. My wife tells me anyway. I mean, I just look dreadful, but never mind. That's another story.
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't know.
So. I can see, and honestly, people listening, he does not. He looks quite fine. Quite fine.
I was going to ask you, are you one of these people that gets up in the morning with an idea and you get up early, or do you have a bit of a lie-in?
Oh, honestly, my husband would tell you I have not only a bit, Nigel, I have a long lie-in, really. Yeah. And it's funny because years ago when I was doing club dates, I'd be going on anywhere between 12 midnight to 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
Wow.
And I'd be waking up, the next day about 11, 12, missed the whole morning. But, by the time I got home, it was about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd sleep all those hours. And I started thinking, I'm missing out on the morning. A big chunk of my day has been missed out because of my career and my working life.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help it. I needed to sleep. Fast forward to now, I set my alarm, and I know it's, still late for most people. And I'm up by about 9:30 in the morning.
Right.
And I'm seeing, and some occasions, my body clock will wake up at about, which is rare, I won't lie, about 6:37 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the morning, and I just think it's one of the most beautiful times of the day
to it is.
Have the opportunity to wake up that early. And I force myself to wake up. I have quiet time. I meditate, and I sort of, my husband and I moved into the country about 4 years ago.
Lovely.
And I'm watching the birds. We've got these bird seeds that my husband has put out, and there's squirrels running about. There's birds
right.
for it, and it's peaceful and quiet. And, when you wake up really early, you can hear and feel the world's still asleep, but waking up slowly but surely. And it is just so beautiful. No matter how tired I am, set my alarm to wake up really early in the morning to just do that.
I like to get up early. Trouble is with me, I never really sleep properly because a lot of ideas are flying around in my head.
Yeah.
And I find that I'm either dreaming about it and I just have to get up by about 7
Yeah,
o'clock.
absolutely. Yeah.
Best time for me is the most creative time is in the morning, and then I slowly slide as I go through the day.
Yeah.
And in the
because
afternoon, I just want to chill in the afternoon, really. But I was like you at one time, I was working 6 days a week in a nightclub in Blackpool and stuff like that. And you just miss it. I never got up till 12:30 when I was doing that because obviously you get in late and
and your body wants to sleep and you can't help it. So, you listen to your body. But I found as I've gotten older and my gigs have now become more festival based, and I could go on anywhere between 1 in the afternoon or be done by 8, 9 p.m. at night. Yeah.
All right. So you don't get up so early, but you're getting up a bit earlier now, aren't you?
A bit early.
A little bit
not
earlier.
Like the old days. Yeah.
And you're opening up a new wildlife sanctuary when all the birds are coming in the backyard soon.
Exactly. I own these birds.
Brilliant. So do you think the music industry has changed a lot since you first started?
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when I go back to the 90s, I remember thinking, gosh, it's such a tough industry. Fast forward to over 30 years later, it's an even tougher industry. I can't put my finger on it. But on the other side of that as well, I think like with the internet, it's helped artists get their music out there without the need to get signed to a label. So maybe in some effects, there's some things that have made it easier for it to be at your fingertips. I control all my own social media, for instance, like the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the X. I do that myself. Like, this new album of mine that's out there, Gary and I are finding ways to get it heard, to get it out there to the people to hear it. And we've got pluggers, we've got people to help us, but it's like, where else do we go? How else do we do it? How else do we get it heard? I've got you, Nigel, that's a force to help and stuff like that. So this is where we are, and we think, where do we go? What do we do? So
massive transformation, isn't there, gone on at the moment, especially with the internet. And I feel like sometimes it's ruined a few things as well as made things good, hasn't it? It's changed the whole picture, hasn't it? How you go about promoting yourselves.
Exactly. And Gary and I are just like, okay, I've got the YouTube channel, fantastic. And the funny thing about my YouTube channel, just to veer off here, I set it up about 2015 with a guy called Conrad.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm not very computer savvy. He taught me what to do and how to do this. And I'm like, when I got home, I went, blah, I'm not going to do that.
I know what you mean.
I completely forgot about it and I just left it. And then Ash came about and with his partner, Ryan. And Ryan said, she's got a YouTube channel and there's 12,700 subscribers. Wow. I didn't even know that.
Straight away.
And so you got to reignite this thing. And I got back in contact with Conrad and it's like, so he's passed the ownership back to me. And now I like kind of know what to do and how to upload this. But I've made him an owner as well. And he's uploaded all these videos on my behalf, for which I'm so grateful because I probably fucked everything up. But so I heavily rely on my subscribers and the people that follow me on my Instagram account to, spread the word, yourself, to spread the word. And when it's out there, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. So when you first started, right, we're going back just a little bit. How did you get influenced into the music business? When you're in your younger days, did you just think you were going to be a singer, or did it just happen? Something happened and you thought, I like that track. What brought you into the music industry in the first place?
All my life, Nigel, I wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
I was so passionate about it. I told my parents this is what I wanted to do. And I remember my mom and dad saying, okay, very well, but you got to, take up a course. Yeah, take up a course and make sure you got something to fall back on. And I took up a course as I believe it was a receptionist secretary. And so I just, went with the flow and did that. But I knew all my life this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and at 5 o'clock, did you stand up and go, everybody's free? And then
sort of like that, Nigel. Yeah, sort of like that. I mean, my mom and dad, I remember, used to go out and they'd come home and find music blaring out loud, and then walk into the lounge and find all the curtains closed. Yeah. And I've got the record play, and I'm pretending to sing and be Diana Ross.
Diana Ross.
The neighbors would be complaining. She got the music on too loud. Tell her to turn it off.
Yeah.
But that was me sort of pretending I'd be performing to people, and planting the seed way back when, not knowing what my life and my future would give me. And here we are.
So what gave you your big break? What was everybody has like a moment, don't they, when it just completely changes the ball game, really, and then you think, I'm onto this straight away.
Yeah.
I always remember getting the first contract as a radio presenter, and I thought, I've done it. What I set out to do. I was on the road then, so it must have happened for you. What was that turning point?
It was, I believe, I would say it started in Zimbabwe when I won a talent contest, and the prize was a recording contract. That was a turning point for me and made me realize that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to record music under my own name, my own original material. And then I quickly realized that I had that opportunity in Zimbabwe. I released all my material in Zimbabwe and felt, I went as far as I could in Zimbabwe. And then I wanted to break out and become an international artist. And then lo and behold, they happened to be a producer from the UK on holiday in Zimbabwe, and he saw my videos on TV. Honestly, it was
that's the moment, isn't it? As well, that's the moment that he happened to go on holiday, and then he found out about you, and then that was a massive stepping stone. Then, was it?
Exactly, and he happened to have a friend who was a friend of mine on the biggest radio station in Zimbabwe. His name was John Matindi, and he got in touch with him, and he's like, "Really need to meet her." And long story short, we met, and then we got to have a meeting with my record label at the time in Zimbabwe called Grammar Records. Yeah. And it's like a studio in the UK. And Grammar Records believed in me so much that they paid for my first 3 air tickets to come to the UK to record in his studio. And we were sending around, at the time, cassettes to record labels trying to get a record deal.
Yeah, cassettes. I remember cassettes, and I remember the pencil.
Exactly. And to try and get a record deal, and one of those cassettes fell on the laps of Tim and Nigel, who were the Band of Gypsies, and those are the guys I got to record the album Everybody's Free with. So the rest is history.
Oh wow! How old were you when you first thought, I've started to make it? Can you remember the age? I can remember I was about 27, I think, something like that. When
I was about there. I was 26, 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've matured a little bit by 27, 26, haven't you? Your mind's changing a bit there. I don't know what it is. I mean, you're not grown up where you're not going out to nightclubs and stuff, but you sort of changed just a little bit, and you're a bit more directed at what you really want to do, don't you? You really shove yourself a bit more.
Exactly. I knew then when, Everybody's Free hit, and, I started making a little bit of money. I had the opportunity to buy my own flat.
Yeah.
I also, around that time, because, I had a work permit, and because I was signed to a big label like Sony and etc., that's how I got my full British resident visa to stay in the UK.
Yeah.
And that was a real big impact for me. That all happened at the age of 27. And I thought, okay, I've got this opportunity, been signed to a major label. I've got my British residency that was approved and signed through.
Yeah.
Because the answer was, Sony gave the Home Office, was that she is creating jobs for other people. And they saw that, and that's how I got my stay. And I thought, well, look, all this is happening. Let me give it a go. Let me give it a shot. And over 30 some odd years later, I'm living here. I'm married to a wonderful British man, and my roots are here.
If you were going to give out some advice, maybe some people who are listening to this podcast or listening, there'll be younger people who are thinking, I want to be in the music business. What would you be your advice to try and start to get into the music business? I mean, it's such a tough business, like you mentioned before, but what could they do to try and help themselves get into the music business? What do they need to do?
Nigel, I get asked that question all the time. And the one thing I would say is never give up, because there's still moments that even I've had these massive hit singles like Everybody's Free. I still have moments where I think, tiny moments, what am I doing? I still feel like I'm still working at something and I love it. But there's times when I think, should I be here doing that? But all the while, when I look back and I think, what has sustained me and why am I still here? is my passion and my love to go out and perform and to never give up. I don't feel I'm ready to give up, and I have such a support network that I've built up over the years. My agents, one of them is called Kevin Moss, who had almost had the asthma attack when I told him I wanted to retire if I had millions. Exactly. Slow it down and be like, no, you're going to work until you're 80. And then I told my husband, and my husband's like, 80? She's going to work till she's bloody 90.
You think it's so, you think you get ingrained, it gets ingrained in you. I mean, everybody used to say to me, like, I said, I'm not being a DJ anymore, and I've done all sorts of things. And they said, yeah, but it's in your blood. I get that all the time.
Absolutely. Kevin said to me, oh gosh, Roz, you're still hot on it. I can still see the fire burning inside you after all these years. And it's like, I see that when you go on stage and your love for performing. So he said to me, seriously, as long as you feel you still want to go out there and keep performing and you feel that you're enjoying it, because that's the key, enjoying it, then why would you stop? Yeah. Especially when you're still getting the knock on your door to go out and perform and do gigs. Yeah. So this is where I'm in my life. Gary still wants to go and record new material. And I get so excited by it. And I think, that's okay.
Good. Yeah, if you're still getting that buzz, that's it. I miss doing it. And if I go 6 months, we're not doing any radio or anything like a podcast or whatever, I miss it. I think I'm missing
exactly.
I should be doing something,
Exactly. And it's that key that you still miss it. So it tells you still got the fire for doing it. Yeah. So why give it up? What else are you going to do?
Yeah, it's been great talking. I'll tell you what we usually do on the podcast, we ask people 3 questions. It's usually the same 3 questions. Nothing difficult, don't worry. You look at the
okay, what are you saying?
Just 3 questions, just so people can try and work you out just a little bit. Who was your biggest influencer then in the music industry? Who was the star that shone out and you thought, I'd like to be like her? Or
I'd say going back, it was 2 women. Dinah Ross for her glamorous look.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
And Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. Fantastic, aren't they? Okay, that's the first question. Now, do you drive? Do you do a bit of driving?
I do drive.
Yeah.
I do drive.
What's your favourite car? Or is there a car that you'd love to get that you've not had or never driven?
I would say that I've already had my dream car, for which I will remain eternally grateful, and that was a Range Rover.
Range Rover. Have you not got it now?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't.
Why is that?
I've got another dream
car. Gone down to a smaller one, or is it a bigger one?
I've got a Volvo XC.
Yeah. Bit of quality there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you like a bit of quality. The last question is, what's your favorite go-to snack?
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Everybody has one. I've got one. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. But everybody know, and they know me for it as well. If you just mention the word, I'm going, yes, I'll have one of those.
You know what? I don't have one particular one. That's a problem. I've got several. I would say medjool dates, cheese.
Cheese, yeah. Oh, everyone likes cheese.
And a little packet of hula hoops.
Hula hoop, yeah, they're great. I like hula hoops as well, especially in front of the telly or anything like that.
Exactly then. Yeah. Exactly then.
Or while I'm dancing around in the kitchen listening to Rozalla. Brilliant. Get the hula hoops out.
Exactly. Bring the hula hoops out. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that. It's been great chatting to you, as always. I wish you all the best and keep gigging, as they say. Where you got? Do you know your next gig? Well, it's coming up.
Yes. My next gig, I've got the Royal Festival Hall in March.
Wow.
Amazing. I know.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Fantastic.
I know it will be with Baby D and Sonic.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
So that's quite something.
Wow. Is it sold out? It will have done.
I believe so.
Yeah. I wish you all the best with that anyway. Have a great year. And we'll keep tags on you as well. And we'll put lots of stuff on your profile, because we give you a profile on our website, link back to you so all your fans can carry on following you and everything. And then we'll catch up with you in a bit, maybe a couple of years' time.
Thank you so much, Nigel.
If the passion's still there, keep going.
Oh, exactly right. We don't any asthma things coming out. No.
I'm going to have to go and have my asthmatic attack now, I think. Anyway,
no, we don't want that. We don't want that. All is good.
It's great. And thanks for the time as well. And we'll speak again soon, Rozalla. All the very best to you.
All the very best to you, Nigel. Have a good year. And thank you always again for your support. Thank you.
One thing I just wanted to ask, the biggest fan of yours, can drop me an email. It's called Stevie Bell. and he lives in Glasgow, right? And he said, can you get Rozalla to give me a mention and just say hi to Stevie Bell?
Oh, yes. Hi, Stevie Bell, Rozalla here. I believe you're the biggest fan. So I just want to say thank you so much and bless you.
Excellent. I love that. Thanks, Rozalla. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Nigel.
And thanks for your time. Yeah, all the best to you as well. Bye.
Take care. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.
If you loved what you heard, make sure to hit subscribe on this podcast channel to never miss an episode. Stay connected and become part of the Sands Showbiz family by following us on our social media platforms. Your ticket to the heart of showbiz awaits every Monday. In the world of showbiz, there's always another story waiting to be told. See you next time.